All right, so we're down at the, or up at the Sany today. I've got it parked up close to the lab. The reason I've got it up here is the radio just finally stopped working. There for a little while, as long as you took it out of Bluetooth mode and started it up in, as long as you started it up in like FM, AM radio, it would come and work, and then you could flip it over to Bluetooth, as long as you remember to cut it back off of Bluetooth before you cut the excavator off. It was working fine. Kind of thought it might be like a Bluetooth connection issue with like an iOS update or something like that. But now it kind of started working sporadically on and off. And now for several weeks now it hasn't worked. And the weather's got colder. So I'm a little bit suspicious of something internal in the radio. It still could be like just, bad connection or something like that. The radio turns on and it appears to be working. There's just no sound output. So I'm kind of thinking it's probably something inside the radio. But we're going to pull it out and just take a little quick inspection and stay tuned. We'll see kind of where we think it's at. Again, Sany comes with a 5-year, 5,000 hour warranty. If it's not something really simple, I'll probably contact the dealer and see if I can get a replacement or get them to come out and look at it. Anyway, let's just pull the base radio out, make sure we got good connections, things like that. We may run it in here in the lab and power it up on a lab power supply just to see if we have an output. Stay tuned. So this is pretty simple here. Basically you got 4 screws. This is the radio itself. I'm assuming this is like an industrial unit because there's quite a bit of vibration in these machines. So there's some stuff that you would want to do in a radio like this. But we're going to pull it out. Kind of just guessing. I'm guessing they probably use like lead-free solder on the board. It's seeing a little bit more vibration than what it can handle, and probably something's awry on one of the circuit boards itself inside the radio. But it certainly could be just a bad connection. So we're going to check that out. We'll pull this out, kind of see what it looks like. I've never seen one of these out, so this will be kind of informative to see what that connection looks like, whether it's a pigtail or whether it's actually a wire that goes up into the back of the radio. Okay, so we got it out. There's a little bit of a trick to getting it out. You kind of have to put, what I did is I put a plastic pry bar on this side, and you actually have to tilt the face going this direction, otherwise you can't just pull it straight out. You've got to have it kind of angled. You can kind of see here there's a little lip, and that'll get caught on the edge, and you've got to pull it away from that. So this side's got a lip or an edge, and this side's got a little edge. Unless you basically kind of tilt the radio this way, it won't come up out of there. Fairly simple. Obviously not a lot of wires here. This connector looks good. I'm just going to basically kind of cut the excavator on and see if we can see is it this connector or is it something down the radio. I suspect it's probably something in the radio itself, but we're going to check these connections here real quick. Pretty simple connections. This is the antenna connection, kind of standard. Got a wire that comes up here. The radio is pigtailed, so we've got a pigtail that actually comes out of the radio that connects to the wiring harness. Let's get you some shots of that. The screws are machine screws. You will need kind of a right angle. There's not enough room right here on these back screws to actually get a screwdriver in there unless you want to risk stripping the head. So I use like a little right angle tool for the Phillips heads. Anyway, let's see if this thing will turn on. We'll do a little shake test, etc., to see if we can get it working. To see if it may just be something here or if it's something deeper down in the radio.
It is never easy.
Okay, so it's going to be a little noisy. We're going to turn this off. It's working. So basically, when I pulled this out and first turned it on, didn't get any audio. I basically disconnected the connector, reconnected it, redid Bluetooth, and it's worked fine ever since. So I kind of suspect it may be that rear connector just needed to be reseated. I did put some dielectric grease in there just to, it doesn't have any in there, just in case that's causing an issue. But it does seem to be just the rear of this radio, that rear connector was causing an issue. It seems to be working now. So I reset it several times, even on Bluetooth mode to my iPhone. Every time I've cut it back on, it's worked. One time it came up with like BT, but it wasn't actually connected to the phone, basically because I disconnected power. But I was able to go to my phone and reconnect and got audio, and I could flip between modes and still hear audio coming off of FM and AM. So just a tip that may work on yours. I don't know how permanent this is. I did, cause some vibration, move the radio around while I had it out to see if maybe it was something deeper inside the radio, board flexing, something like that. It's relatively cold today, so I would have expected it not to work, which it did when I first got in the excavator. But after I've disconnected and reconnected that connector, it's worked ever since then. So that kind of leads me to believe that was the fix, and we'll see if it holds. Hopefully this helps you out. Again, this is on a Sany SY35U, but I'm going to pop these screws back in and go do a little digging and see if the radio continues to work. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.